Welcome back to another video session related to database management system, that is relational model. So this is third unit. Okay, so in the previous unit we are already discussed about one of the important data model, that is entity relationship model. In that entity relationship model we are already discussed some basic components of ER models, that is entity, attribute and relationship. So some types of entities and types of attributes and relationships and degree of relationship, that means unary, binary, ternary and quaternary. And the extraction of ER model are already discussed in the previous class. Okay, so generalization and specialization, some constraints on generalization and specialization were already discussed in the previous class. Now, so what is relational model? Okay, so relational data model records are, in the relational data model, records are stored into tables. Okay, the records are stored into tables. So what is the meaning of record? Okay, so the collection of fields, we call it as a record. Okay, one record. So all the records in the table, we call it as a relational model. In the relational model represents the database as a collection of relations. A relation is nothing but a table. Okay, here relation means table. So another meaning of relation is table. Okay, so what is the meaning of a table? Table is nothing but collection of rows and columns. Okay, in table, every row in a table represents a collection of related data values. It represents the collection of related data values. For example, if you take a student table, all the records related to the student only. If you take customer, all the records in a customer table contains customer records only. Okay, so these rows in a table denotes a real world entity or relationship. Okay, so the data are represented as a set of relationships. Data are represented as a set of relationships. So there is a relationship between data and data. Okay, so in the relational data model are stored as a table. Okay, so the data in the relational model, the format is table format. It is very important here. The table is very important component in the relational model because the data is represented is in the form of table. Is in the form of table. Okay, so however the physical storage, okay, that means the internal storage is independent of the logical organization, logical structure. Okay, it does not depend on the physical and logical structures. Okay, so some of the RDBMS softwares are, some of the RDBMS. What is RDBMS? Relational Database Management System. So some RDBMS are, so DB2 and Informix, Dynamic Server. So it is IBM and Oracle implementation is Oracle and RDB. Okay, so these Oracle implementation and SQL Server and Access is Microsoft implementation. Microsoft, some RDBMS softwares are DB2 and Informix Dynamics Server, it is IBM implementation, and Oracle and RDB, so relational database is Oracle Corporation implementation, and SQL Server and Access, it is Microsoft implementation. Okay, next one, some relational model concepts we are discussing now. Okay, so first one is relational model concepts. So what are the terms involved in the relational models? Now we are discussing. Okay. So the first one is attribute. Attribute. What is attribute? Each column in a table is called attribute. Okay, what is attribute here? Each column in a table. For example, I am taking a table. So this is the table. I am taking 3 columns. One is customer ID, customer name, and status. For example, I am taking 1, 2, 3, and customer names Google, Amazon, and Flipkart. Okay, status active, and inactive. Okay, this is the table which contains some rows and columns. Okay, so what is the meaning of attributes? The column, these are the columns. So customer ID, customer name, and status, these are called columns. So what is the meaning of attribute? Means each column in a table is called the attribute. Okay, attributes are the properties of the relations. So these are the properties. So customer ID, customer name, and status are the properties of the table. We call it as attributes. Okay, in a relational model, the column names are called attributes. Okay, and the next one. So column names are called attributes. Next one, table. In the relational model, the relations are stored in the table format. The relations are stored in the table format. So the data in the relational model is in the form of table model. So the table has 2 properties. One is row and next one is column. So the row represents records. What is the row? What is the row? This is one row, this is second row, and this is third. In relational model, we call it as record 1, record 2, and record 3. Okay, so record 1, record 2, and record 3. Okay, next one. So what is columns? Column is nothing but attributes. Column represents the attributes. So these are the attributes, and these are called records or rows. Okay, next one, tuple. So it represents rows and columns. Okay, next one, tuple. Very important, tuple. So what is the meaning of tuple? Single row of a table is called a tuple. Single row. For example, this is a row. So this is the one row. We call it as a one record. It is called in relational model. We call it as tuple. Okay. So rows, we call it as rows, Another one is relation schema. What is relation schema? So the relation schema is nothing but it represents the relation schema represents name of the relation. That means name of the table with its attributes. Okay, name of the relation with its attribute. It represents name of relation with its attributes. With its attributes. Okay, next. So one is attribute, table, tuple, relation schema. Next one, degree. Degree. So what is degree? Total number of attributes in a relation or table, we call it as a degree. Okay, total number of attributes. Total number of attributes in a table, we call it as degree. How many columns here we are presented? Here 3 columns. So one is customer ID, customer name and status. So what is the degree of this table? 3. Okay. If the table contains 5 columns, the degree of the table is 5. Okay. And next one, cardinality. And next one is cardinality. So what is cardinality? Total number of rows or total number of records or total number of tuples. Okay, we call it as cardinality. Okay, so what is the cardinality of this table? How many rows in this table? We have 3 rows. What is the cardinality of this table? 3. So the degree is 3 here, the cardinality is also 3 here. Because how many number of columns are presented in this table? 3 columns, that is the degree of table. And what is cardinality? Number of rows presented in the table, we call it as cardinality. Okay, and next one, relation instance. Okay, another one is relation instance. What is relation instance? So relation instance is a finite set of tuples in a relation. Finite number of tuples in a relation, we call it as relation instance. Okay, next one, relation schema. Relation key. Relation key. What is the relation key? Every row has 1, 2 or multiple attributes, which is called relation key. Okay, every table has some keys are presented. The keys are, we call it as relation keys. Okay, so here in this table, the customer ID is the key attribute. Customer ID is the key attribute. So it is the primary key attribute. Okay, we have some keys presented in the relational model like primary key, candidate key, super key. Okay, so referential key. So these are the some of the keys are presented in the relational model. Okay, so what is relational keys? Every attribute contains some keys that are called the relational keys. Okay, and next one is attribute domain. Okay, attribute domain. What is domain? Already you know what is domain is the possible number of an attribute is called the domain. So, for example, customer name. How many possible values here? So 3 values. Okay. So for example, I am taking gender. It has 2 possible values. One is the male and another one is the female. So how many number of possible values are presented in an attribute? We call it as a domain. Okay. In the relational schema, once again I tell you, in relational schema, table also called relation. Table is also called as relation. So assume that this is one of the table. Okay, so these are the attributes or column names. All these are the column names, and all these are the rows, records or tuple. We call it as row, we call it as record, or we call it as tuple. So what is the degree of the table? Okay, so degree of the table means number of attributes. Number of attributes is known as the degree of the table. So number of rows in a table we call it as cardinality. Okay, so this is the introduction about the relational model. So what is the relational model means? The data is presented is in the form of tables. Okay, so the table have two properties. One is the rows and another one is the columns. Okay, the column names we call it as attributes. The rows we call it as records, tuples and rows. Okay, it has some properties. Okay, we must have to know what is the degree and what is the cardinality of the table and what is the relational schema. Okay, the name of the relation is known as the relational schema. What is a key? So every table has one key attributes are presented. So why keys means we have to maintain the data in the relational model must be in accurate without having duplications. Without having duplication. That's why you are taking the key attributes. Okay. So all these are the fundamental terms used in the relational model. I hope you are understanding this introduction. Okay. So go to next topic. The next concept is EF called relational database rules. So EF called relational database rules. We call it as EF called rules. Okay. In 1985, CARD published a list of rules that become a standard way of evaluating a relational system. Okay, so CARD rules are 13 rules. So every database must and should satisfy all these 13 rules. Okay, from 0 to 12. From 0 to 12. Okay, proposed by EF CARD, designed to define what is required from a database management system in order to be considered relational. Okay, so if you are taking the relational database, all these relational database must and should satisfy all these rules. Okay, let us discuss each and every rule in detail. Okay, so what is first one? First one, rule 0. So rule 0 is the foundation rule. Foundation rule. Rule 0 is the foundation rule. What is foundation rule means? The RDBMS must manages all the relational data within the database. Okay, so the data must be managed in the database. Okay, so that is the foundation rule. Okay, next one, information rule. Information rule. So the information within the database must be available to the user. Okay, so it is available to the user is called the information. The information within the database must be accessible to the end users. Okay, so that is the information, and the data within the database must be in the tabular format only. Okay, that is very important one. So the data within the database must be in the tabular format. So that means table format here we are maintained. Okay, that is called information rule. Okay, and next one, rule 2. So what is rule 2 is guaranteed access rule. guaranteed access rule. So the data within the database must and should be accessed by the end users. It must and should guaranteed to be accessed by the end user. So that is called the guaranteed access. The data within the database must and should be accessible by the end users. Okay. And next one, rule 3. Rule 3. So what is rule 3? Systematic treatment of null values. Systematic treatment of null values. So within the database, the null values are to be maintained. Okay. So not only the original data, we have to maintain the null values also in the relational database. Okay. So it is independent of the data type. Okay. So the null values are not depend on any one of the data type, it is independent of the data types. Okay. So rule 0 is a foundation rule. All RDBMS related data must and should be maintained in the database and information. So the data within the database must and should follows the tabular format. Guaranteed access, that means the data within the database must and should be accessible to the end users. Systematic treatment of null values, that means we have to maintain null values independent of the data types. And next one is rule 4. So what is rule 4? Dynamic online catalog based on relational model. So dynamic catalog based dynamic online catalog based on relational model. Okay. So here the metadata is also to be maintained within the relational database like ordinary data. Okay. So that is the description, the relational database description must be accessible by the end user. Okay, you have to maintain the metadata information also within the database. Okay. So metadata information, metadata is also be managed like ordinary data, Okay. And next one, rule 5. Rule 5. So what is rule 5? So comprehensive data sublanguage. Comprehensive data sublanguage. Okay, comprehensive data sublanguages. All the data within the database must and should be maintained. Okay, all languages it should be managed. So all type of languages, okay, SQL, okay, so we are maintained within the database. All sublanguages are to be managed within the database. And the next one, the rule 6 is view update. Rule 6 is view update. Okay, here within the relational database we have to maintain views also to be maintained within the database. Okay, so updated information also to be maintained within the database. Okay, and next one, the rule 7. Okay, so rule 7. So what is rule 7? Okay, high level insert, update and delete. High level insert, update and delete. okay, and delete. So we have to maintain all these operations, insert, update and delete. So not only these operations we have to maintain, so the union, intersection and all these operations are to be maintained within the database. Okay, so insert operation, update operation and delete operations can be maintained within the database. You have to perform all these operations in the relational database. And the rule 7, rule 8. So what is rule 8 is physical data independence. Very important one. Physical data independence. Physical data independence. The application programs are unaffected by the storage structure. Okay, if you are changing the storage structure, it does not affect the application programs. That is called the physical data independence. Okay, if you change any of the structure, storage structure, internal structure, the application programs cannot be affected. So that is called the physical data independence. Okay, and next one is logical data independence. Logical data independence. What is logical data independence? Application programs are unaffected when we change the table structure. If you are changing the table structure, so it does not affect the application programs. That is called the logical data independence. If you are changing the storage structure, it does not affect the application programs. That is called the physical independence. If you change the table structure, it does not affect the application programs. That is called the logical data independence. Okay, and next one, rule 10. Rule 10. Distribution independence. Distribution independence. Okay, so what is the distribution independence? Sorry, integrity independence. The rule 10 is Rule 10 is integrity independence. What is integrity independence? We have to maintain the integrity of data within the database. We have to maintain the correct data, accurate data within the database. That is called the integrity independence. Okay, you have to maintain the accurate data, correct data. Okay, that is called integrity independence. And next one is rule 11, distribution independence. Okay, so what is distribution independence means? The database is independent of its storage locations. Okay, it sites. Okay, whenever the data is distributed, it does not depend on the different sites. Okay, so it is independent of the sites or locations. We call it as a distribution independence. So some data is presented at somewhere and some other data is presented at somewhere. So the locations are different, that is independent to each other. That is called the distribution independence. Okay, and next one is the last one is rule 12, non-subversion. So what is non-subversion? If the system support low-level language, that low-level language cannot be used by bypass the integrity rules of the database. It cannot be bypass the integrity rules of the database. We called it as the non-subversion. Okay, so all these are the different rules followed in the relational database. So what is rule 0? So that is a foundation rule. Rule 1, information rule. Rule 2, guaranteed access rule. Rule 3, systematic treatment of null values. Rule 4, dynamic online catalog based on relational model. So Rule 5, comprehensive data sublanguage. Rule 6, view, update. Rule 7, high level, insert, update and delete. Rule 8, physical data independence. Rule 9, logical data independence. Rule 10, integrity independence. Rule 11, distribution independence. Rule 12, non-subversion. So all these are the different rules on relational database. I hope you are understanding this concept. Okay. Okay. So the next one, relational data model. So the relational data model is a collection of tables. It is a collection of tables. So table is a logical structure maintained by the database manager. Okay, table is the important component in the database, so that can be managed by the database managers. So relational data model can be composed of three components. So it is composed of three components. What are they? One is a structural component, structural, integrity and manipulative part. So structural part, integral part and manipulative part. So what is the structural part? So the data within the database is a collection of tables. The data within the database have the collection of tables. It is called the structural part. Okay, that means the data within the database is in the form of tables. Okay, next one, integrity part. What is integrity part? We have to maintain, okay, data integrity. We have to use primary key and foreign keys. Okay, with the help of these two keys, that is primary key and next one is the foreign key, the data within the database can be maintained integrity. Okay, next one, manipulative part. Okay, manipulation, that means changes. If you have any changes, so within the relational data model there are two languages, that is relational algebra and relational calculus are used to manipulate the data within the relational data model. Okay, so these are the three different parts in the relational data model. One is structural part, integrity part and manipulative part. So database is a collection of tables, that is a structural part. Integrity part, okay, with the help of primary key and foreign key we have to maintain integrity of data within the database. And next one, manipulative part. What is manipulative part? With the help of relational algebra and relational calculus we have to maintain, we have to change the data, we have to manipulate the data within the relational database. Okay, so this is the information about the relational data model. Okay, next one, the very important concept is keys in the relational data model. Okay, keys in the relational data model. Okay, why keys? Okay, what is a key? Okay, keys are very important part in relational model. Okay, in the relational algebra model, so the keys plays very important role in the database. Keys are used to, why keys? Keys are used to establish relationship between tables and uniquely identify any record or row of data inside a table. So why keys means we have to maintain the data, we have to maintain all the records uniquely. Without having any duplication, we have to maintain the tables. So the duplications can be eliminated with the help of keys. That is the main reason to take the keys. Okay, a key can be single attribute or group of attributes. Okay, if you have to take a single attribute or group of attribute, we have to maintain the record uniquely. Okay, we have to maintain unique record within the table with the help of keys. Okay, so it is very important one. Why we need keys? Okay, so keys in the database. Okay, so the keys are mainly used for identifying any row in a table uniquely. The word uniquely is very important here. Uniquely. Unique means without having any duplications. Only one. For example, the student number in a class have unique number. Okay. So no two students have the same number within the class. Okay. So that is called unique. The unique data can be maintained with the help of keys. Okay, so keys are ensure integrity. Okay, so we have to maintain the integrity within the database. We have to maintain integrity. What is the meaning of integrity? The correctness of data. We have to maintain it within the database. Okay, so we have different keys within the database. Okay, so what are the different keys within the database? One is the very first one is super key. Candidate key, primary key, foreign key, and alternative key. So super key, candidate key, primary key, foreign key, and alternative key. So what is a super key? First one, the very first one. Let us take an example. Let us take an example. Student, have to take an example student. These are the different columns. Student ID, okay, registration ID, branch, and email. Okay, so these are all the attributes of the table. So the student IDs are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so S1001, S1002, S1003, S1004, S1005. So all these are the registration IDs of a students. Okay, branches. So computer science department, so IT department, ECE department, okay, of course electrical department. Okay, so email IDs. So and I want to take one more column. Okay, names also. Here names, name, and email. So these are the different names. These are the email IDs. Okay, so this is the table. Okay, now we have to explain each and every key. So registered student ID, registered ID, branch name and email. Okay, so by clearly observe that student ID, okay, student ID, registered number and emails, these three are the keys in the table, in this table. So what are the keys here? SID, registered ID and email are the keys. Okay, keys, that means student ID. So all the student IDs are unique numbers, so that's why I take it as keys. And registered number, no two students have the same registered number, so that is called the key. And all the emails of a persons are different, so that is also we have to take as key. Okay, all these are the keys. So what is a super key means? Okay, so the combination of one attribute or the combination of more than one attribute we take as a super key. Okay, that means the combination, so SID plus registered number, okay, the combination of attributes which you have to maintain the row uniquely identified, we call it as a super key. So what are the super keys here? SID plus registered number, so registered number plus email. Okay, so SID plus email and both SID, registered ID plus email. So all these are the super keys. All these are the super keys. So super key is the subset of the candidate key. Okay, it is a super of all the keys. Okay, so it is a subset of all the keys, that is called the super key. Okay, so super key is used to identify each and every row within the table uniquely identified. Okay, so super key is the subset of the candidate key. Okay, so then what is a candidate key? If you take any one of the key here, okay, so that means SID plus registered ID or registered ID plus email ID or SID plus email ID or SID plus registered ID plus email ID or SID, registered ID or email ID, we take it as candidate key. Okay, choose any one of the super key which is, so it is the minimal subset of the super key. Okay, what is the definition of the candidate key means? So candidate key is a key which is minimal subset of the super key. Minimal subset of the super key is called the candidate key. We have to choose any one of this. We have to choose SID or registered ID or email or whatever of the combination of these, we call it as a candidate key. Okay, and the next one is primary key. Okay, so primary key. So candidate key. So for example, if you take SID as a candidate key, so this is called the super key. Yeah, sorry, this is called the primary key. Okay, if you take SID, if you have to take SID, it is called the primary key, and the remaining two, okay, registered ID or email ID, we called it as alternative key. Note this point. Okay, if you take SID as primary key, the remaining IDs, the remaining keys, registered ID and email ID, we called it as an alternative key. Okay, alternative key. So what is the meaning of primary key? Let us discuss what is meant by primary key. Very important one, very important key. So primary key. So what is the meaning of primary key? So primary key, the candidate key chosen to uniquely identify each row of a table. In a table, we called it as a primary key. Okay, primary key has two properties. What are they? Primary key values cannot be null. Okay, cannot be null. For example, if you take SID as a primary key, so if you insert the values in the table, for example, I want to insert 1. Okay, just leave 2 and we have to fill all these tables. So this is wrong in the primary key because the table within the database, so the primary key column cannot be null. Okay, cannot be null. We have to fill all the data within the table. Okay, it cannot be null, and it does not allow the duplications. For example, if you, so this is the primary key table, already we inserted with the value 2, again we are inserting the value 2, this is called a duplication. It does not allow the duplication. There are two properties of the primary key. One is it cannot be null and it does not allow the duplications. Okay, that is very important one. So candidate keys, so any of the candidate key we have to take as primary key, either SID or registered number or email ID we have to take as primary key. The remaining keys, for example, if you take SID as a primary key, the registered ID and email IDs both are alternative keys. Okay. Next one, foreign key, another very important keys. So with the help of primary key and foreign key, we have to establish the relationship between two tables. Okay, so then what is a foreign key? What is a foreign key? So foreign key means we have to establish the relationship between two tables with the help of primary key and the foreign key. Primary key and the foreign key. For example, if you take another table, that is registered ID and branches and branch, registered ID and branch code. Okay, branch code. Okay, for example, this is the registered ID, this is the registered ID. So this is the primary key and this is the foreign key. So foreign key values. The primary key values and foreign key values must be matched here. That is very important. The primary key values and the foreign key values must and should be matched. For example, S1001, S1002, S1003. Okay, so CS, IT and ECE. Okay, so these two values, must and should be matched. S1001, yes, it is presented in the register number, so it is matched. So all the information of the two tables are displayed. Student ID, register number, branch name and email address are displayed. And S1002 here, okay, S1002 is presented, so the information is displayed. S1003, yes, it is presented, so the information is displayed. S1004, here there is no S004 and S005. Okay, that means only 3 rows of a table that can be displayed. That means the foreign key, that means the primary key values must and should match with the foreign key values, then only the data will be displayed on the screen. So if the data is not matched, no rows are selected and the data is empty. Okay, so that is the information about the keys within the database. Okay, I hope you are understanding this concept. Okay. Okay, the next one is integrity rules. Integrity rules. What is integrity rules means? Integrity constraints or integrity rules are used to maintain the data within the database, accuracy and correctness of data within the database. We have to maintain the accurate data and correct data in the database. Data integrity provides a mechanism that maintain data consistency for specified data. Okay, so specify the operations of insert, delete and update. So whenever we are inserting any data or whenever we are deleting or updating a data, the data within the database must and should be accurate and correct data. Okay, so different types of data integrity constraints are presented. One is entity integrity, null integrity, domain integrity and referential integrities. There are 4 types of integrity rules are there. One is entity integrity, domain integrity, null integrity and referential integrity. So what is entity integrity? What is entity integrity? Entity integrity implies that primary key constraints that does not accept the null values. That does not accept the null values. What is entity integrity means? We have to maintain the primary key in a proper way. Okay, so the primary key does not accept the null values. So the primary key of the table that cannot be null and it does not allow the duplications. For example, SID. So already in the previous example, SID we have to take as a primary key. So it does not allow the duplications, it does not allow the null values. That is called the entity integrity. Okay, and next one is the null integrity. Null integrity. Null integrity implies that it is applicable when the data is not known. Okay, so when the null values is accepted, if you don't know the value, okay, then only the data will be used. So that is called the null integrity. Okay, null means in that case the data we have to maintain it in the data, that is null integrity. Okay, and next one is the domain integrity. So what is the meaning of domain? All the possible values of an attribute is called the domain. So we have to maintain all the possible values within the database, that is called the domain integrity. So domain integrity. So domain values, so the possible number of the possible values of a attribute is called the domain. So we have to maintain all the possible values within the table, that is called the domain integrity. So for example, if you take gender, what are the possible values? Male and female is the possible values, that is called the domain. Okay, and next one, referential integrity. Referential integrity. So what is referential integrity means? We have to maintain the foreign key in a proper way. Okay, that means we have to establish the relationship between the two tables with the help of the primary key and the foreign key. So foreign key must match with the foreign key values must match with the primary key values, then only the two tables are interrelated. Okay, so we have to display all the information within the database must and should be maintained in the database by using primary key and the foreign key. So that is integrity means what? We have to maintain the correct data and accurate data within the database with the help of entity integrity, null integrity, domain integrity and referential integrity. So entity integrities and null integrities, domain, referential are the integrity rules within the database we have to maintain. Okay, so that is the information about the integrity rules. I hope you are understanding this concept. Thank you.